Can I start off first of all with the challenge you've just had in selection? 18 is not 23, not 26 is a challenge, and it's not just England. It's for Team GB getting that representation of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and making sure that all the home nations feel represented. Just how much of a challenge was it to come up with the selection you did?
This has been the hardest decision I ever made. Respect of all the nations, great players to choose from. This has been an ongoing discussion through my whole month of work. So we had like the medical, the physical, everyone, departments in to discuss, and we ended with the squad now that we are very happy with, strength, depth, and we are all excited now to get going.
Hege, anyone that goes to the Olympics wants to dream of being on the podium, but dreaming perhaps for this squad is probably maybe a little lowering of the bar. Is there an expectation that the team at the very least medals and perhaps is good enough to win gold?
That's what we are planning for. Of course, like, you can never take away a dream. If you dream big, then better to achieve it. I think we all know that we have little time to be the best team in the world, but that challenge we will take on and do the best we can. We hope to perform better and better together, and hopefully at the end that we can be at our best and see how far we get with that.
Hege, just for you as well, just obviously you've taken the role with England. The FA are leading on providing a team for Team GB, but was it a difficult decision? I know you may have spoken briefly about this before, but was it a difficult decision for you to take over Team GB? It's very different from England. It's a different competition. It's 4 nations as one. Was it a difficult decision for you?
No, I felt like really proud to be have that honor. I've seen all the players in the league. We follow most of the players like really closely, so I'm comfortable that the selection that we done is a great group of players going into the Olympics, and I don't think we can say it enough how proud as we are, like going into the Olympics as Team GB.
Just a question perhaps for yourself and maybe for Sue as well, if Sue is able to come in on this. When it comes to the Olympics, the focus on the 360 strong entire team of Team GB will be huge, both media and the British public as well. It'll go to a different level. Women's football is in a completely different place to it was a decade ago, to when I was fortunate enough to see Sue out at the Canada World Cup, and it's changed so much since then. The point being here is we've got some real problems within society, within sport at the moment. Online hate. Overnight, we've heard the news about Marcus Rashford, the Manchester United players. Your team is diverse. It represents what the UK is in 2021, but unfortunately there are people out there who wish to spread hate. Can I just ask, because you're going to a different level, you're going to be in a different limelight, and the women's football team will be followed more than it's ever been before, perhaps what protocols, what decisions you might be making to help players who may receive online abuse, see some hate messages, etc. I know it's not to do with football, but it's unfortunately very much part and parcel of dealing with 21st century elite sports. Maybe Hege first, and maybe Sue, if you'd like to comment as well.
Yeah, I can just start and say that we will support the players. That's our main focus. I don't think we can take it away. We can say that we don't like it, we don't want it, but we need to support the players whatever we can. And then Sue, I guess you will jump in here to talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've made our position on this really clear. Ed Lean is leading on this for the Football Association, but I know all 4 home countries feel the same way. This is just not part of what we want for the game and for football. It's so wrong that our top sportsmen and women are subjected to this vile and unnecessary abuse. And we're working really hard, all of us in football, coming together to try to make sure that the online companies take greater responsibility for what they are doing to protect our individuals, and also looking at the new legislation that's coming in, making sure that it truly has some teeth, because this is not acceptable. These people are not out there performing, in any other way than pure sportsmen and women, and they should not be subjected to this level of absolutely disgraceful abuse. So we feel very strongly, and I know the other home countries do too, and like Hege says, we will do our best to protect our players, and I know that Wendy and her team will be giving good support and good education to help our players think very sensibly about what they do and don't do with social media during the games.
Sue Hege, thank you very much. I know it's a tricky subject. Wendy, if I may, just one more question to Hege, and then I will stop talking, I promise. Hege, it's just about the environment in Tokyo, in Japan. Wonderful city, wonderful country, but there are clearly concerns over COVID and also how the Olympic experience may not be as it was hoped. Just what concerns do you have about traveling to Tokyo, and how are you being made to feel more comfortable about what may lie ahead of you when you do travel to Japan?
Like the safety is the #1 priority for us, of course, and I totally understand like the fear for the Japanese. I still think that the IOC and the BOA taking this really seriously. Like this has been a challenge for the world now for more than a year. So we 100% following every protocol to do exactly what we can and live strictly to be safe and be in a safe environment, and hopefully we do everything we can every day to make that happen.
Hege, thank you very much for your time. Sue, thank you very much as well. Wendy, I'll pass back to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Geraint. Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions from broadcasters before we move into the embargoed written section?
Hi, Hege, it's Sam here from ITV News. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. It's just a couple of quick questions, if you don't mind if we just jump straight in. Firstly, lots of players making their Olympic debut. How confident are you in them?
I'm quite comfortable have them in the squad, and they perform every weekend with the club. Some camps for England or Scotland, and I feel like we know the players, we know their mentality and their leadership skills. So that's the reason why they are in the squad. And together with the experienced player, I think the mix of that is what we are excited about.
And also, what are your hopes for the team? Where do you see the next, how do you see the next sort of year or so in terms of training going?
Well, this team will last now for 2.5 months. So it's a short period for us to get together, prepare ourselves for the tournament. All the players are eager to get started. We are as staff as well. So we just want to get going and prepare ourselves for what's coming. We probably need some time to just get us all on the same page. But like when everyone is the same eagerness to get this done, I feel comfortable that we can achieve some good things.
And you said about that eagerness there. What is the sort of atmosphere like at the minute around the team? How does it feel to be in that environment?
Like we had a kickoff meeting yesterday and everything on Teams, so it's kind of hard to get the sense, but like all the text and everything, all the speeches and people stood up talking about their experience, watching other Olympic athletes as well, like the excitement going in for we going into. It was really fun to start that.
And also in the previous Olympics, there wasn't a full GB team actually. How excited is everyone for this kind of comeback in the next Olympics?
Sue, do you want to?
Yeah. In actual fact, the women's football team in 2012 was there because as a home nation, we were allowed to enter teams in every sport. And so there was a sort of political pressure to have a men's and a women's football team, which we did for Team GB in 2012. There were no teams in 2016. And part of that is because our home countries are very concerned that they don't want to lose their status in European or FIFA World Cups or European Championships as Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland or England. And that Team GB, if you can compete as Team GB in the Olympics, you know, could you compete as Team GB in the World Cup? So the answer to your question is we've worked very hard with the home countries. They've been incredibly supportive. And really they all agreed that they didn't want to stand in the way of individual players who wanted this very, very special moment in their sporting careers. So, of course, we're very excited. And it's actually the first time that England women have qualified, which we did at the World Cup, to actually take a team to an Olympics. So it's a very special event for us and a very special occasion.
And just quickly, sorry, I won't take too much more of your time. Just one question for you, Sue, and one for Hege again. Firstly, Sue, again, I have to repeat the question really with what we've seen in terms of Marcus Rashford. This, as the previous gentleman said, social media seems to be a beast that I imagine in any football team isn't something you think of would ever cross your mind, but it seems to be ever more playing into the game of football. How is there any sort of plan at all, or any kind of strategy to keep this GB's women's team sort of motivated and kind of rise above that kind of hatred that you see online?
It's a really, really tough thing, isn't it, for individuals? You know, when you look at what players give to achieve their best, you know, the hours they train, the commitment they give, many of the things that they sacrifice, all of us take for granted, you know, going to our parties and doing whatever you want to do. They give up a great deal to achieve their dream, and to then be subjected, you know, and someone like Marcus, who's done so much as well within the community and all the work he's done, to then receive that hate, it must be utterly confusing as an individual. Why would anybody speak to him or talk to him in that manner? It's disgraceful. It's something all of us in football, whether we're whichever home country we're in, or, you know, all the football bodies are very committed to try to do something about this. In terms of our own team, we will make sure we've given them all the best possible advice. And of course, we'll do our very best to support them should they receive the kind of disgraceful abuse that Marcus got last night.
So thank you for that. And just quickly, lastly, Hege, I'm just going to pin you back if I can find you. There you are. Sorry, I'm just trying to record this as we go. Just quickly, if you could just sum up in a couple of sentences for me how you're feeling about this, your next venture that you've got ahead of you.
This is the biggest tournament in history, and be a part of that is making me proud. I'm so happy for the girl that was selected, and that we're hopefully going to Tokyo to achieve something that we all dream of.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are we ready to move into the